Good day, everyone, and a happy Monday. Of course, today, August the 17th, August the 17th, 2020. My name is Jewel, and this is the J7409 forecast coming up for today and the next couple of days. What we're looking at here is the NDFD map. We'll just let it roll through. I'll give you a couple of headlines here. Looking like today, expect record heat waves across the western U.S. They're going to continue, folks. It will accumulate today before gradually becoming less intense, and the fire weather risk is going to persist. Now, relatively cool conditions will prevail from the plains to the East Coast, with occasional showers and storms from the Mississippi Valley to the East Coast. I'll tell you all about that and more coming up on the weather right here for today and what it looks like the next couple of days. But before we get to that, please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click the bell, and click off all to ensure you get all the latest in weather news, tropical forecast, local forecast, anything concerning the weather. I'll be sure and put it up for you, and I would appreciate it a lot. And thank you to each and every one who has subscribed. I have a very early doctor's appointment this morning. I will not be doing anything tropical in this forecast. This is strictly for the lower 48. Later this afternoon, I'll have a complete tropical forecast for you. Now, as we check out severe weather for today, what should happen today in the lower 48, you can see we do have isolated severe storms capable of strong wind gusts. They are expected this afternoon and evening from northern California, central and eastern Oregon, into far western Idaho. Other storms with these strong wind gusts are possible across parts of southern Arizona and South Texas, and just a little bit right over here you can see in the middle Atlantic. Now, when we come over to eastern Oregon, you see where we do have this elevated risk over in these areas, and far western Idaho also. It looks like high base storms are expected to develop within deeply mixed boundary layers over northern California and spread northeast through Oregon. Now, some cams suggest enough storms will develop to establish a larger cool pool, and this possibly could result in a more widespread of damaging wind threats from late afternoon into mid-evening. Now, when we come down here to southern Arizona, it's looking like we have a pattern that's been going on, and it's favoring storms that develop over the higher terrain, spreading southwestward into the desert valleys, where deep inverted V profiles will support a threat for isolated downburst winds. You guys need to pay attention to this with the downburst winds. Now, when we come to southern Texas, we have a marginal area of maybe some severe weather. It's a boundary, and this boundary will probably stall and become the focus for additional thunderstorm development later this afternoon. Now, moderate instability and destabilization boundary layer will support a modest threat, as you can see, for a few locally strong to damaging gust of wind, with some multi-cell pulse storms developing in the weak shear environment. Then over to the mid-Atlantic region, as we see right here. Most of this is just going to be a corridor of modest instability, looking like it will develop east of the mountains, where scattered storms are expected to initiate along the cold front, and a few locally strong wind gusts might accompany the stronger storms. But the marginal thermodynamic environment with weak lapse rates should serve as an overall limiting factor. So hopefully everybody in these areas here you could have some storms, maybe a wind gust here and there, but hopefully not too severe. When we look at tornadoes, less than 2% today. That's great. When we look at the wind, right in here, as I was just telling you, you guys could have some severe wind. Also, this 5% chance goes on for southern Arizona, southern Texas, and up in the mid-Atlantic, where especially in Texas and Arizona and in these areas, all you guys could have some strong downburst winds. So please be aware of this. So far as hail, looking real good, less than 5% across the lower 48. Now, as we take a look at the NAM map, this goes through the next 3 days. This is what we're looking at, what the forecast for the general weather should look like for the next 3 days. Courtesy of Tropical Tidbits, you can see a timestamp right up in here. Let's turn it on, and I will let you know what's happening. First off, somebody spied this out yesterday, and it is a fairly large low-pressure system, but that's all it is. It's just a low-pressure system. It's not going to be tropical for anything that bothers the U.S. It's going off the coast now. So, as we turn it on and let it roll, it looks like we got a strong ridge of high pressure aloft. It's forecast to reach peak intensity today with a more record heat for many locations across the western U.S. Now, we have excessive heat warnings and heat advisories. They engulf much of the western third of the lower 48, except for Sierra Nevada. Actual high temperatures are forecast to soar well past the century mark for the hottest locations in the interior Pacific Northwest, while temperatures at some locations in the desert Southwest will exceed 120 degrees. Now, the persistent heat and dry conditions, coupled with spotty thunderstorms, that could produce dry lightning that would lead to the development of wildfires, especially across the interior Northwest. I saw one of my subscribers make a video yesterday of that actually happening. When lightning struck down, it created a wildfire. Now, the strong upper ridge is forecast to begin weakening slowly by Tuesday, bringing very slow moderation of the temperatures into much of the region. However, temperatures are still expected to reach record levels over much of the Southwest for the next few days. Meanwhile, the Southern Plains is going to see a break in the stifling heat today. That's a good thing, and it's welcome. And it's all because of this surge of cooler air behind the cold front. It's going to drop the temperatures by about 10 degrees or so. The eastern half of the country can also expect cooler temperatures and more comfortable conditions than our western neighbors, thanks to an upper level troughing aloft. Now, this is due to a series of cold fronts that are sweeping across the plains and exiting off the east coast. Now, some of these thunderstorms, as I've showed you, are expected along the eastern seaboard today ahead of the lead cold front. Now, moving a little farther west, a weak low-pressure system's forming on a reinforcing cold front. It's expected to bring some thunderstorms across the Midwest and Ohio Valley today, followed by the interior eastern U.S. on Tuesday. Lingering thunderstorms are expected across the southeast as well as southern Texas, where tropical moisture remains entrenched. Triple-digit high temperatures will be confined to southern Texas for the next couple of days. Stay safe, my friends. Thank you so much for watching and everything you do for me. Hope you have a good day, a safe day, a blessed day, and peace, love, and kindness to each and every one of you. Thanks so much for watching.